likes to pick up poop. Especially me. I actually used to hire this company called the Magic Mound Movers to pick up the poop in my backyard. I probably should have just invested in indoor plumbing. You're Gonna Go Far by Noah Kahan. This song has this really cool finger-picked guitar part. If you're new to fingerpicking, this is the perfect song for you to learn because it has a very consistent fingerpicking part and we can get away with using only 2 fingers. If you are experienced in the finger-picking department, this will be a nice, easy, fun one for you. The acoustic guitar parts to Noah Kahan's You're Gonna Go Far. That's what we're doing today on Ray Plays Guitar, and we're gonna do it as simply and as accurately as possible. Let's get into it. It starts off with this chord. It's called a G5. We're only playing 3 strings, starting with my 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string. We're playing the open 3rd string. Then I'm also going to play the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And the way Noah plays is he'll anchor a couple fingers on the body of the guitar. That gives your hand some stability. But it also frees up these 2 fingers to do this. So my thumb is playing the 4th string, and my index finger is going to play the 3rd, back to the thumb, and then my index finger is going to go to the 2nd string. So this is going back and forth between those 2 strings. Giving us that kind of pattern. I prefer using my middle finger, and I have a tendency to, for this type of thing, to rest my hand on the bridge. Either way is fine. Some people might prefer to use 2 different fingers for these 2 strings. So thumb, index, thumb, middle. However you want to do it, there's no right or wrong. We're playing 16th notes. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 2 measures of that for the intro, and then 2 more measures with vocals. Going to an A minor 7 chord. This chord starts on the 5th string, and we have open, 2, open, 1. Here we're going to pluck this starting on the 5th string, going 5, 3, 4, 2. And again, just using 2 fingers. So these 2 fingers are going to play these pair of strings and then these pair of strings. After the A minor 7 chord, we go to a C chord. And to do that, all we have to do is put our 3rd finger down on the 5th string. We're going to pluck the same strings. That leads us to this G. Now I got my 3rd finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret. I'm plucking the 6th and then 3, 4, 2. Then I'm going to put these 2 fingers back down. It's the shape of an A minor 7 chord, but I'm still holding this G down. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So what I'm doing, I pluck this note, then I'm hammering down on these fingers. Giving us that sort of a thing. Now don't worry about getting that hammer-on to sound out. That's one of those things that'll probably naturally happen as you get used to this riff. 2 E, 3 E and 4 E and So that's the verse. I'm going to play through the whole verse. kind of slowly, so you can play along too. Here it is, starting right where the vocals start. 3E and a 4E and a. So the next part of the song, I call the bridge. Some people might call it the pre-chorus, whatever. This part starts on the G chord. So we stay on the G chord for one measure. Then we're going to go to an A minor 7 chord for one measure. Doing a little transitional thing to G over B. And I'm just playing this one note here. And that comes in at 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So 4E. While I pick this note, I'm going to do a hammer on to that note B on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. That leads us to a C chord for 2 measures. Section repeats. The second time, you're going to hold out that C at the end. So just a little word about the... I wouldn't worry too much about that. If you didn't play that at all, it would be perfectly fine. Go from A minor to C. In fact, I think live he might do that. The second time through that section, second measure of C, we hold it out for 4 beats and then for 4 more. Then we come back on a C chord to a G to an A minor. 2, 3, same thing again. Half notes, 1, 2, G, 4, A minor, 2, 3, and then we start strumming. The strumming pattern he basically plays is based around this. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, down. That kind of a thing. So he plays this section 4 times, C, G to A minor. On that 4th time, he continues the A minor 7 for another measure. Then we go to this next section, which starts on a G chord. And then goes to an A minor 7. And then a C for 2 measures. We're going to play this section 5 times. The first time through is a guitar solo. And then 4 more times with vocals. We're going to pretend this is the 5th time After that, it goes, we have a 2-4 measure. We're just playing 2 chords. An A minor 7, and then there's a G/B chord. It's a G chord, but with the note B in the bass, so we're not playing the 6th string. And it's just a 1 and 2 and into a C chord, and 2 and 3 and 4, into a D chord for 2 measures. The only time we have a D chord in this song. And that leads us back to a C, to a G, to an A minor. We're going to play this 6 times. On the 7th time, they drop out here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. They just repeat that out until the end of the song. So a couple other playing tips for when you're fingerpicking this. Like for example, when you're switching from this chord to the next chord, the first two notes of that A minor 7 chord are open strings. So I don't have to have all of my fingers in place before I start playing that chord. As I switch from this G5 to the A minor 7, I could play those first two notes of the A minor 7 and then just put my fingers down in the order that they're played. It buys you a little extra time. Switch from A minor to C is not a problem. From C to G shouldn't be a problem either. And again here, I'm gonna release this while I'm playing that last note so I can have time to get back to this position. And one thing that really helps me with my finger picking is when you're practicing it slowly, try to do this. Before plucking, plant your finger on that string. So you could feel the string and it's right there ready to pluck. And then before I use my index finger to pluck the string, so I feel where the string is and then I pluck it. Plant, pluck, plant, pluck, plant, pluck, plant, pluck. So you do a plant, then pluck. I'm kind of exaggerating that motion now. As you speed it up, we can't spend too much time doing the plant part of it, but for me, practicing it like this kind of helps my fingers just be more comfortable with where those strings are. It makes our fingers a little bit more intentional. Now that we know what's going on, let's play along with the tab.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, that is You're Gonna Go Far in a nutshell. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. If you found this video helpful, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to Ray Plays Guitar, hit that notification bell. But most of all, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.